Okay, imagine two kids growing up in the exact same house, sharing the same parents, going to the same schools.
Yeah, they even picked similar careers, right? Earned basically the exact same paycheck for like 30 plus years of their working lives.
Exactly. But fast forward to age 65. One brother retires with $14 million in investments, a paid off house, winters in Arizona, pays for his grandkids' college, and, well, he never even checks prices at restaurants.
And the other brother? He retires with 180,000 in savings, a mortgage with 12 years left on it, and constant financial anxiety. He's literally working part-time at a hardware store because Social Security doesn't cover his basic expenses.
God, wait, are you serious right now? 14 million versus 180,000 with the same lifetime income?
Yeah, it is a brutal contrast. And the most shocking part isn't even the number. It's when this split happened. It didn't happen in their 20s when they were both too broke to make progress, or their 30s when they were building families.
Right, because back then they were basically taking the same approach to life.
Exactly. The entire trajectory of their lives was decided in one single decade, their 40s.
Their 40s. Honestly, that's kind of terrifying because when you're in your 40s, you feel like you finally have things under control, you know? You've earned some success.
Oh, totally. You think you've got plenty of time, but the math says otherwise.
Okay, before we dive into how that math actually works, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Frank. Welcome to Talk and Wonder. We create easy-to-understand whiteboard animations covering family finance, investing, passive income, and debt management.
Our goal is to break down these complex financial topics, help you avoid these massive hidden traps, and build wealth together. So if you want to secure your future, you are exactly in the right place.
Exactly. Okay, so why the 40s? Why is this decade so disproportionately powerful? It's actually because of three massive financial forces that align at this exact point, and honestly, they never align like this again.
Okay, lay 'em on me. What's force number one?
Serious. It's your peak earning power. For most professionals, your income hits its absolute maximum between, say, 42 and 55. The raises that felt huge in your 30s start to slow down, but the absolute dollars, they've never been higher than they are right now.
Right, so it's like you finally have the raw material to build actual wealth. But that raw material is only useful if you actually do something with it.
Exactly. A 45-year-old making, let's say, 120,000 can save more in absolute dollars than they ever could before. But that brings us to the second force, and this is the one that slips away every single year, remaining compounding time.
Oh, the compounding multiplier. I mean, we all know time is money, but how bad is the drop-off?
It's a cliff, Lynn, literally a cliff. Look, at age 40, you still have about 20 to 25 years until retirement. That's enough time for your money to, if we look at historical market returns, roughly quadruple. $1 invested at 40 becomes $4 by 65.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. 4 to 1. But what if you wait?
Well, if you wait until 50, you only have 15 years left. That $1 only becomes $2.50. At 55, you've got 10 years left. $1 becomes what? $2?
Wow, so the money you invest at 42 literally works twice as hard as the money you invest at 52.
Exactly. No, wait, let me back up. It's actually even worse when you factor in inflation. But the point is, your 40s are the absolute last decade where meaningful compounding is still mathematically possible.
God, and then there's the third force, right? Expense stabilization?
Right. By your 40s, a lot of those chaotic, budget-shattering expenses from your 30s start to, well, they flatten out. Kids are a bit more independent, you've established your wardrobe, bought the furniture. The mortgage you stretched so hard to afford in your 30s now actually fits comfortably in your budget.
Which creates this, what do you call it, this margin, right? Suddenly there's extra money left over at the end of the month.
Exactly. But here's the trap. Does that margin flow into your retirement accounts, or does it quietly get swallowed by, well, lifestyle expansion?
Oh, I know the answer to that one. It's usually a new kitchen or a nicer vacation. But seriously, when these three forces align, peak income, decent compounding time, and stabilizing expenses, it's like a financial cheat code. If you miss it, though,
If you miss it, the math becomes your worst enemy, and there is no catch-up contribution in your 50s that can fix a wasted 40. Let's look at the actual numbers, because honestly, when you see the math, well, it completely changes how you look at every dollar you spend.
yeah, because we always tell ourselves, oh, I'll just, live a little now and then double my savings in my 50s. I mean, we literally said that when we wanted to redo the patio.
Oh God, don't remind me. We'll catch up later. The classic financial lie. But look, let's take a realistic scenario. Imagine someone reaches 40 with, let's say, $100,000 in retirement savings.
Okay, 100 grand at 40. That's actually a pretty solid head start.
It is, yeah. Now, let's say they earn $110,000 a year, and they decide to save 15% of that. That's about $16,500 a year, right?
Right, totally manageable, especially during those peak earning years.
Exactly. If they consistently invest that 15% from age 40 to 65, assuming an average 8% market return, they'll retire with approximately, it's around $1.35 million.
1.35 million plus Social Security. That's a very comfortable, completely stress-free retirement.
Right. But now let's look at scenario 2. Same starting point, 100,000 in the bank at 40, but they decide, hey, the kids are growing, we want to travel, let's only save 5% during our 40s.
Just 5%. Okay, so they're still saving something. It's not like they completely stopped.
Exactly. They aren't being totally irresponsible. And then at age 50, they get that panic, the, oh my God, we're 15 years from retirement realization.
The classic midlife financial panic. We know that one.
Right. So at 50, they ramp it up. They boost their contributions back to 15% all the way to 65.
Okay, so they only slacked off for 10 years. Surely they still end up pretty close, right?
They end up with 780,000.
Wait, what? 780?
Yeah, 780,000.
Frank, stop. That's over $500,000 less just for saving 10% less during one decade?
It's $570,000 less, to be exact. And remember, they saved the exact same 15% in their 50s. But because those 40-something contributions missed out on 10 years of compounding, the gap is literally impossible to close.
Okay, I need a second. That is actually terrifying. I mean, you think you're just shifting the timeline, but you're actually slicing your nest egg in half.
Exactly, and it gets even worse. What about the third scenario? They reach 40 with the same 100,000, but they actually decrease their retirement contributions to just 2% to fund lifestyle expansion. They upgrade the house, buy nicer cars, take the luxury vacations.
Basically, they inflate their lifestyle to the absolute limit.
Right. Then 50 hits, pure panic. They try to make a massive, heroic catch-up. They commit to saving 20% of their income for the next 15 years.
20%? That's a huge sacrifice. I mean, you're basically living on ramen and regret at that point.
Pretty much. They are feeling the pain. But despite that aggressive, painful saving, they retire with only $590,000.
Oh my God, 590?
Yeah, their so-called comfortable 40s literally cost them $760,000 in retirement wealth compared to consistent saving. The decade of decisions created a gap that a decade of extreme correction simply couldn't close.
It's like trying to run up a down escalator. No matter how fast you pump your legs in your 50s, you can't outrun the physics of time.
I love that analogy. It's exactly like that. You are fighting a mathematical battle you cannot win.
Okay, so where does all this extra money actually go? Because it's not like people are just throwing cash into a fireplace.
No, definitely not. We put it into very nice, very respectable-looking things like, well, a bigger house.
Oh, the classic housing upgrade. I mean, we literally wrestled with this. Remember when the kids were, 10 10 and 7, we looked at those suburban homes with the open kitchens and thought, we've worked hard, our income is up, we deserve this.
Oh, absolutely. And on paper, the monthly mortgage payment feels totally manageable given your peak salary. But let's look at the true cost. Say you upgrade from a decent $350,000 home to a $600,000 one.
Which is a pretty standard step up for middle-class families in their 40s.
Right. But that jump increases your monthly housing costs, including mortgage, taxes, insurance, and utilities, by about $1,500 to $2,000.
$1,500 a month. Okay, so that's like what, $18,000 to $24,000 a year?
Exactly. Now, if you stay in the modest home and invest that $18,000 to $24,000 a year from age 40 to 65, Lynn, at an 8% return, that compounds to, no, wait, let me check the exact math. It's between $900,000 and $1.3 million.
Wait, are you serious right now? Over $1 million?
Over $1 million in retirement wealth. So that house upgrade didn't actually cost you $250,000. It cost you $1 million of your future freedom.
Okay, I need a second. But Frank, people are going to say, but a house is an asset, it appreciates.
The appreciation argument. Sure, the house might go up in value, but you can't eat drywall in retirement. To actually use that wealth, you have to sell the house, downsize, and move. And honestly, most people really don't want to pack up and leave their community when they're 70.
That's a fair point. And staying in the modest home, I mean, it just gives you so many more options. You can weather emergencies, help your kids buy homes later, or even work part-time in your 60s instead of grinding full-time.
Exactly. But it's not just the house, it's what's parked in the driveway, too.
Oh, the cars. Let me guess. The practical family sedan gets traded for a sleek luxury SUV.
Yep. There's this unspoken social pressure in your 40s. You go to a client meeting or a parent-teacher association event and you want to look successful, you know?
It's like a prestige tax we pay to look successful to people we don't even like.
Precisely. Say a family runs two $45,000 luxury vehicles instead of two $28,000 reliable ones. That's $34,000 more in auto debt, plus higher insurance premiums, premium fuel, and expensive repairs.
Oh, don't get me started on German car parts. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Over time, depending on how frequently you replace those cars, that prestige premium quietly burns through $200,000 to $400,000 in retirement wealth.
Frank, stop. 400,000?
Yeah, $400,000. So between the house upgrade and the luxury cars, we are talking about a $1.5 million decision.
That is absolutely mind-blowing. And the wildest part is, you don't even feel like you're being reckless. You just feel like you're living a normal middle-class life. Okay, but now we're getting into the really emotional stuff. Children. Because in your 40s, that's usually when the kids are, well, they're teenagers. They need cars, sports, tutoring, and then college.
Right. And this is where so many parents make a massive, emotionally driven mistake. They literally mortgage their own retirement to fund their child's elite college education.
I mean, I get it. The guilt is real, Frank. You want to give your kid the absolute best start in life, right? You don't want them saddled with hundreds of thousands in student debt.
It's totally understandable, but look at what actually happens. Parents take on over $100,000 in Parent Plus loans, or they completely stop contributing to their retirement for 4 years straight.
4 years of zero contributions during your absolute peak earning years?
Exactly. It's a disaster. The kids graduate in their early 20s with their whole careers, 40-plus years of earning power, ahead of them. But the parents, they enter their 50s with depleted savings and barely a decade left to recover.
It's a lose-lose, really, because if you run out of money in your 80s, who has to step in and take care of you? Your kids.
Exactly. You aren't actually helping them. You're just delaying the financial burden. The families who navigate this successfully have very honest and, yes, sometimes uncomfortable conversations. They look at state universities, merit scholarships, or they expect the kids to contribute through work or their own loans.
Right. We love you, but we aren't ruining our financial future for a prestigious brand name degree. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's necessary.
It is. But there's another kind of avoidance that happens in your 40s, and this one is about your career.
Oh, the career trap. I feel like in your 40s, you get kind of comfortable, right? You have seniority, you know your job, you've built a reputation.
Exactly. You become increasingly risk-averse precisely when you should be taking strategic risks. Your 40s represent your last real window for massive income acceleration.
Wait, why is it the last window? Why not your 50s?
Because, and let's be totally honest here, hiring discrimination begins affecting opportunities once you hit 50. It gets much harder to pivot. If you take a strategic risk at, say, 43, like joining a startup or switching to a competitor for a senior role, and it doesn't work out, well, you still have time to recover.
Right. At 53, a bad move can derail you permanently.
Exactly. But by playing it safe and staying in a comfortable job, you might be leaving $30,000 or $40,000 a year on the table. Over 10 years, that's easily $300,000 to $400,000 in lost raw earnings. Invested, that's easily over $500,000 you just let slip away.
So, by trying to avoid risk, we're actually creating the biggest risk of all, reaching retirement with an empty basket.
Exactly. And that brings us to David and Robert, two guys who looked almost identical on paper at age 40.
Right. They both had a family, 2 kids, around 180,000 in savings, and earned a combined income of about 160 grand.
Yep, but David decided to upgrade. He bought a $575,000 house, which added $1,650 a month to their expenses. They adjusted by cutting their retirement contributions down to 6%. Just temporary, they told themselves.
Ah, the classic temporary cut.
Then came the luxury SUV, the private sports camps, and finally a massive Parent Plus loan to send their daughter to an out-of-state university.
So, what did their savings look like by the time they hit 50?
$240,000. That is barely $55,000 more than they had at 40, despite 10 years of hard work and market growth. They panicked and maxed out their contributions in their 50s, but by 65, they retired with $685,000.
It sounds like a decent number, but with a mortgage still hanging over their heads?
Exactly. The projections show they'll likely run out of money by age 82. They'll have to sell the house, drastically downsize, or keep working well into their 70s.
Okay, now tell me about Robert and Jennifer.
Well, Robert actually wanted to upgrade the house too, but Jennifer pushed back. She'd looked at the math. They stayed. That $1,650 a month they saved, it went straight into their retirement accounts. When his car broke down, they bought a 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle. The kids went to state schools with merit scholarships.
And their outcome?
At 50, their accounts held $580,000. At 65, $1.65 million. Their house is paid off, they can travel, and they have complete financial freedom.
And here is the craziest part of that study, Frank. During their 40s, David and Christine didn't actually enjoy their lives more than Robert and Jennifer because of, what do you call it, hedonic adaptation?
Exactly. We adapt to lifestyle upgrades within 18 to 24 months. The bigger house, the luxury SUV, they quickly just become the new normal. The excitement fades, but the financial constraint on your future is permanent.
So, if you're listening to this right now, what is the plan? What if you're in your 20s or 30s?
Define enough before you start making peak earning dollars. Build the habits now so you don't inflate your lifestyle when the money starts rolling in.
And if you're entering your 40s right now?
Audit everything, your house, your cars, your lifestyle. Ask yourself, am I funding my current comfort at the expense of my future freedom? Remember, every yes to lifestyle expansion is a no to your retirement security.
What if you're in your late 40s and realize you've been on the wrong path?
You still have time, but you have to make radical choices. Downsize the house now. Sell the expensive cars. Take strategic career risks to boost your income. And if you're past your 40s with inadequate savings, focus on what you can control. Delay Social Security to maximize the monthly benefit, and consider just working a few years longer.
You know, it really comes down to a choice between two futures. Picture yourself at 70 years old. You're sitting on a porch and the morning is quiet.
In one version of this future, you're relaxed. You're planning a trip to visit your grandkids. You feel secure because unexpected expenses don't threaten your stability.
In the other version, you're awake at night, staring at the ceiling, calculating if your Social Security check will cover both your medications and your rising property taxes. You're anxious about an uncertain future with very limited options.
Both of those 70-year-olds made their decisions decades ago, in their 40s.
Your 40s will pass anyway. The only question is, which version of your 70-year-old self are you creating right now?